Hey friends, got a good message for you. I had this a really great connection with a brother. These moments when we're just drawn together and had a really deep talk. Just really helped me get clear. I think helped him get clear about just why we're here. So that's the message. It was powerful to really feel the truth as it was coming through me, and through him too. This guy was just really sweet. He's been meditating for about 5 years, and he had so much light. Like, showed up, and he's just like, "Hey, you're not like normal around here," because I'm in Holly Hill, which is near Daytona Beach. It's a pretty wild area here, and so he noticed me. I noticed him. He had a lot of light. It was like as soon as I connected with him, it was just like just clear all around him. He was radiating just a clear space. It was like reality changed around him. It was really cool. And just started talking with him more about just what was spontaneous. We were talking, and he talked about a lot of things. He was definitely afraid of what's going on in the future, or really afraid about what's going on. So I was able to show up and give some hope. And we talked about, talked with him about the battle that's going on, the game between, for our minds, that's going on. And he shared something really interesting with me that he read online. And he doesn't really, this is why I'm doing this, is we need to start talking about this, because he read something online that basically said, after you die, there'll be the light, your family will come, your friends will come, but it's a trick. So this is what he's reading. He was really curious about it. It's saying, don't go to the light, you can stay here and you can become a god. And that's the real purpose of life, is to move yourself into becoming a creator and becoming a god. And from our perspective here, it's like we don't know really who's to say what the truth is, right? So I was sharing him what my own personal experience when I've left my body sober, and I've met beings. I've felt the bliss that felt like a constant orgasm. I've had my direct experience sober of what it's like outside the body, what more I can sense. And I've also read some books that resonated with me, and so I shared with him my perspective. So you may know my story a little bit or not. It's in the beginning of my book, Activate. Is when I went through a rainbow portal of light. This is when I moved myself into service, into helping the world. I wanted to commit myself to being on the team of bringing us to sustainability, and just discovering what that was, and really just dedicated myself. I was really sincere about it, moving myself into the we consciousness, out of the lower me based. I was done with that, into the higher we, the fullness of my heart, just really on it. So I was shown just the incredible energy, the incredible light, the incredible power. It's like electricity that I was in when I left. It was like boom. It was like I was in a constant orgasm. It was just incredible. I didn't want to leave. I didn't feel any of the heaviness or tightness in my body. I could look around and see my body, but there was no like hair or skin or anything. It was just like shapes, and that's what the other beings were too. I take it as my family of light, my guides that were with me, and they really wanted me to become pure, let go of the bad habits that I had picked up, because I was just really, like most people, just going along with what's available here. And so that was my own personal experience sober, that happened to me a few times, and I never wanted to come back. I was like, oh no. They're like, no, you got to go back. So I'm here. I'll be here for as long as I guess want to or need to. The point I'm trying to make, so I had that experience where it was energy, it was light, it was bright, where the space I was in was just all color. I didn't go into a white light, but it was like I went into a rainbow of all color, and then I went to a place that was it was like red, orange, and yellow kind of together. That's where I went. So I don't think I fully maybe went into the white light, but I went to a higher place. So that was my own personal experience. And then the second part is I read a book called Testimony of Light. And this Testimony of Light was from two nuns. You can look it up and get the book if you're interested. It was a really fascinating book. I really loved it. So one nun had passed away and communicated the messages to her friend. They were like really close. They were like best friends. They had been meditating for years together. And so they were their souls were really close. And so when one of them passed, they were able to have telepathy and talk. And I've had that same connection with ancestors that have passed on my end, so I know this is true. And when I read this book, this was a long time ago, right before I actually went through this portal. So it was this time of awakening for me. And the story goes is that when we go to the other side, there is a white light. When you go into it, you're met and you're healed. You're like surrounded by love. However, if you don't participate, you can go off and splinter in your own space. And in that space, and in this space, our thoughts are creating instantly. We're creating reality. We might not see it in this world like instantly, not all of us, but it is possible to get there. That's what I'm here to talk about. But on the other side, it's instant. So if you're thinking you don't trust and you're just angry or whatever, you have a lot of pain from being in this life, then you kind of just go into your own space, or you can gravitate to where other souls are like that, and you just kind of keep experiencing being separate and a creator of your reality, even though if you may not understand it. So there's a lot of stories about in the book about going to these souls and helping them, but they didn't want help, and then having to leave. And then there was also stories of going to higher planes of light, and you have to be able to you have to be strong and have to be healed to be able to hit these higher levels. Just the light just gets so bright and the energy gets so intense that to be able to be there, you have to be able to handle it, and you have to be able to be healed and done the work to be able to handle it. And it's about moving more into group consciousness in these higher levels. In the book, they called them spheres, so it's like spheres. There's a lot to talk about in that book. It was really beautiful. And so my understanding, one more book I read. I haven't read it, but I've read excerpts. My partner has a Journey of Souls book, and that's a guy who did a lot of work with people who have gone to the other side, maybe had like near-death experiences and came back, and they talked about it. So it's Journey of Souls, so that's a great one. But similar message where you go to the other side, you have a life review and healing, you get to like revisit your life, you get to feel all the love that you did, all the pain that you did, you get to learn lessons and then maybe understand why things went the way they did, so you get all this healing and understanding, and then you get to choose from there. So it's like you get kind of a choice back on where to go. And so back to the story this guy is talking about, he was saying what he read was that it's a trap to go in the light. It's a trap. That when you go there, you forget, you're like erased. Everything that you've made here is who you are, is gone. And at some level that's true. And it was really fascinating because this information that came is like very true from a certain perspective. And I was trying to explain it to him about how I understand the purpose of life here, how to, just like why we're here, like why this exists the way it does. I was trying to explain about the free will that we're given, this freedom of choice. And so the war that we're in right now, and the thought attacks that a lot of us get, are coming from intelligence, beings, entities, whatever we want to call them, the dark side, demons, whatever we want to call them. But they're separate. They've chosen not to be part of the light, so they feed off of us. So if you die and then the light shows up and you say, no, I'm not going to the light, and you stay, then you're in this in-between dimension between here and where we come from. So there's like an in-between dimension, and it's just on the other side. So that's where we can still communicate. So they'll kind of nuzzle up, they'll get close to us in our field, and they'll feed off of our energy, or they'll plug into us like a plug, like a cord, and then that goes to another place. So there's different ways that they connect with us, but this message that he got saying it's a trick, you're gonna lose everything, that's from like losing the point of being 100% self, and this being self is a bit of an illusion and a bit of a temporary thing. So these beings want to do everything they can to hang on to staying self, and it's true in some level that you can move into a bigger place of being a god and being a creator, but that does come off the backs of energy from other people, other places, and there's ethics around that. I mean, I think we can agree as good people that not to take from people that don't want to be taken from. I mean, if it's consensual, I guess that's one thing. So I see these beings as more like parasites, even though from their point of view they're just trying to survive, and they'll do whatever it takes to survive. It's like they're just in survival mode, right? So and they're trying to teach that to people, and I know that it's true. So on one element you can stay in between and experience being a creator. However, what I was trying to tell him about is that we can choose to co-create, and we can be creators here. We can be creators here, and we have to surrender our absolute, like, I want it my way, like that inner child thing that my daughter has, that I've had, that we've all had. It's just like, I'm going to figure out my way. I'm going to do it my way, like that part. The growth into, I see there's value in working together, and I see there's value in cooperating, and maybe letting go of how I want it, but I can see maybe there's another idea, and that feels better. Just being open to that, being able to receive information. I mean, basic stuff, but huge problem here. Took me a while to figure it out, and that's my hope, and that's why I stay happy, just because I know what's possible. Right now, here, right now, we can bring this pure energy inside ourselves and create a bubble of a new earth within us, and everything works out for us because we're connected to a greater whole. But when we're selfish, when we're survival mode, it's a lot of battle, a lot of struggle, a lot of fighting for control, and that's what we're experiencing here on Earth right now. So it was really fascinating to talk with him. I was like, whoa, that's actually people talking about that. And he resonated with it, because the thing is it's true, but it's missing a big piece. It's missing a big piece of the big picture. But yeah, because we are made to forget where we come from, then it creates this situation. So yeah, I'm lucky I had those books that I was able to read. Everything I've verified within how I feel too, like, and through my higher self, the connection that I have. So that's what's helped me navigate through all this, because there's so much information coming at us. It's like, what do we trust? What do we trust? So it's really about learning what it feels like to be in alignment with truth, and it's just something that we have to learn. And it's about slowing down. Making time to meditate, to be able to be still. If we're busy, sometimes it's just laying in bed, just trying to be focused on our body and our breath before we get up and do the day, or before we go to bed. If we have time to do 10, 15 minutes or more in the mornings or at night, like, we can extend our willpower and our strength. I still am working on my edge when I meditate, to be able to be like, the dark side definitely wants to try to get into my thoughts and steer me, and I'm in a game right now, and as I'm showing showing up in this way and how I've intended to do this for a long time. The dark side's been really doing everything they can. And so I'm on this journey too, to learn how to control all aspects of my focus, like my desires and my focus, my thoughts, learning to let go a lot. I've asked my higher self to tell me whenever the dark side is projecting. So I'll hear that, like a thought or something will come in, and then I'll hear, oh, that's the dark side. So it helps me. When I was, a long time ago, I'd be like curious about that. Oh, what is that thought? Oh, what is that thing? And so this video is inspiring. Maybe more videos. I actually have a little moment in time to do this. And the book's out. Activate the book's out. I should have had it to show you, but this is like a little test run. So I've got like breathing exercises. I've got connecting with the higher self. Got multi-dimensional awareness. Lots of beautiful wisdom that I had to learn the hard way. But I've really been feeling really energized, really at peace, really centered, and been feeling my energy just expand further and further, and it's out of purifying myself and gaining control of myself, absolutely. Purifying my thoughts, moving out of any kind of judgment. Really moving into the perspective where we come from, which is that we're all one family, we're all really part of the same self. Why would I think negatively upon myself, right? So, and as I'm doing that, as I'm watching these thoughts, you know, that might be the dark side or part of my ancestors, my family. They're not exactly pure, some of them, that are still nearby. But as I'm gaining control over myself, then I'm just feeling myself naturally rise. And that's what I was trying to tell this guy, is that the lesson, I think, is that if we can learn to naturally rise into these higher dimensions, then we feel love and bliss just naturally. It's nothing we really have to do. I mean, there are things we can do to heal and cleanse, but the simple act of gaining control of ourselves and remember where we come from and aligning with that will do wonders and give us everything we need, all the solutions that we need. The world's a complex place, but there's super intelligent forces watching over and will help connect us to everything we need to do. Just a matter of us making time to connect with that part of ourselves and trusting in it. So it's a big part of my message. I hope this was inspiring to you. Looks like it's about to rain. So I'm going to sign off for now. Love is the answer. I hope this message inspired you to think a little bit more about where we come from, why we're here, and to take interest in connecting with your higher self and finding the source within you and learning what that feels like, that confidence and that peace that comes with that in the midst of the storm, to be the calm in the storm. I love you, and Godspeed.